Hello friends, and welcome back to Stamping for Scrapbookers with myself, Sandy, Sarah, and Christina. Today we're focusing on backgrounds. Now you could DIY your own background with stamps, but today I'm featuring how to use a background stamp when it's not the right size for your page. So I'm working on my Traveler's Notebook spreads for the project I'm focusing on during my Craft Your Stash Away series, and I am proud to say that this is a completed Traveler's Notebook project, but we're still posting the pages here on YouTube. So if you're interested in seeing more Traveler's Notebook pages, you can check out the playlist link down below. And don't forget to check out the Stamping for Scrapbookers. All the lovely ladies will be linked down below with their videos, so you guys can get stamping inspiration for your backgrounds. Now this background stamp is from Heidi Swap, and to be honest, I bought it at Tuesday morning, but it seems like it's not the best quality. And I don't know about you guys, but to be honest, sometimes I'm disappointed in stamp sets. Like, they don't produce the same quality or same effects as some higher quality stamp sets I've had, but it'll get the job done. So if you're in a pinch, this is something that you could make work. I have a stamping guide out here, a stamping platform. This one is from Tim Holtz, but the Misty or one of the other brands would also work for something like this. If you have a background stamp but not something to stamp it with, say your block's not large enough, you can always use a glass plate or something ceramic if it's large enough. People have used platters before. If it's a rubber background stamp, what I usually do is bring my paper to the stamp instead of my stamp to the paper. So it really depends on what you need. Now, if you'd pay attention to what I'm doing, you'll notice I put my magnets in the way, and they actually hit the bumper that's on the Tim Holtz stamping platform. So that's why I had to double push really hard to make sure that it would stay down. You'll also notice that I have this sheet of paper here, which is just a off stamping sheet I have on my desk, and to make sure that it doesn't overstamp. So my arrows will face in two different directions, but you'll see how I'll remedy that when I put the whole layout together. So I'm going to ink this up, and this ink is my Versamark Onyx Black ink. I do some color stamping. I know a lot of the ladies like Distress Oxides, or they have cubes of a certain brand of ink. Or, I mean, there's just so many inks out there. I haven't committed to a specific ink brand, but I love my MFT inks that I've tried, and of course the Distress inks. And like there, I just showed you the arrows will be facing in different directions, but I'm going to make sure that each one here on each panel will be facing the same way. So when I put my two pages together, it'll read across the same way. This is almost like if you had two different pattern papers and you met them up in the middle of your page. You'd get similar effect with perhaps different directional tendencies. So here's where I realized that my magnets are in the way because of those bumpers. And I don't know, it might be because I don't use this stamping platform very often. My other one was just busy with a different project going on, so this works for now. Definitely not my favorite stamping platform though. So here I'm going to bring up my washi tape and my my little extra stamp off paper so that I can put it back on so we don't double over stamp. Highly recommend masking. That's essentially what this is. And if you guys haven't tried it before, it is a great technique to pull off so many different styles and looks. And again, I could not recommend it enough. There's a lot of card makers out there who will demonstrate great ways to mask, with masking tapes, with masking fluids, post-it notes. There's lots of different ways out there. Here I'm going to stamp the final section. And it did take me longer than this. I know it seems like it's quite fast, but I did try to keep it a little bit more slow so everyone could see that there is a struggle that happens with this kind of stamping. And while stamping is work, it can also be really fun. So hopefully you guys think it's fun sometimes when you're stamping. And we'd love to know what you guys want to see during the stamping series. As always, I've gotten some great ideas already from you guys so far, and I can't wait to keep sharing them with you. So I'm going to wipe this off using my Lawn Fawn stamp chamois and just simply get some of that excess ink off. Like I said, this stamping platform is not my favorite, but there are several out on the market that you can experiment with and find your favorite style and size, because they also come in all shapes and sizes, which might help if you're working on a 12 by 12 to get a stamping platform that could fit your particular project. As you saw in the beginning of this video, I have two photos. They're of the same topic, taken in the same place. These are from Disney's Animal Kingdom, and this is just a photo spot for their PhotoPass photographers, and we took two photos. One is a magical photo and one's a normal photo, and I thought these would be great next to each other on this Traveler's Notebook spread. And like I mentioned, this is actually a Disney's Traveler's Notebook, so I'll also have my Disney playlist linked down below in case you guys are looking for some magical inspiration for your Disney memories. But what I really like and enjoy about how this turned out is that I didn't use any Disney supplies. And that's what I've been noticing on my journey to scrapbook of more of my Disney memories, is that I kind of don't want to use Disney supplies all the time. So here I pulled out a Pebble 6x6 paper pad and pulled out 2 sheets. I have one with clouds and one with words about family that's sort of a gray tone. And I'm trying to keep with the color scheme of the photos, which is this blue, orange, and green. And that's actually a common occurrence in this Traveler's Notebook, that those are the colors that I feature. And it ends up working out so well with the mini kit I put together for this project that I really just can't explain how well it worked out. It just ended up coming together nicely. And since these papers aren't decorated yet, you can kind of tell that we have that section in the middle that just, they meet up and it looks awkward. And I promise, if you ever mess up with stamping, there is always a way to cover it up. I know it might not seem like there is, but I promise there always is. And luckily my photos do that for me here. Traveler's Notebook is a different type of size that, one, I'm personally not used to, but slowly getting used to thanks to this project. And I think that we often don't let ourselves make mistakes as easily. We don't try new things as easily because we're afraid of making a mistake or wasting supplies, but there's always a way to make it work. So don't be afraid to stamp. Don't be afraid to try out new things. Pull out that mixed media, pull out those inks and stamps, and get to stamping. You guys will really, really like it. And like I mentioned, you guys could easily make your own background stamps if you don't own any like I do, but I saw this as a great challenge and opportunity to try to use the background stamps I do own. I only own 2, well 3 I guess if you consider some of my smaller ones that are meant for backgrounds but not full backgrounds. Really depends how you think of it, but there's plenty of ways to use our stamps, and this is just one of them. I decided to use my Bella Boulevard little scallop washi tape here to border all of my edges. And you'll see I'm putting a lot of excess on some of the sides rather than others, but that's because the dots kept lining up. So the orange would be across from the orange on the opposite side of the bottom and the top, and I just didn't want them to seem so symmetrical, so I ended up just moving them down a bit so it seemed a little bit more random. And that really helped set the color scheme tone as well. I was really lucky to have something like that in my stash that fit so very well. And these random bits and pieces also pulled together thanks to this kit, because I already knew the photos I would be scrapbooking, wasn't sure the theme I wanted to take them, or wasn't sure what they were going to be like, or titles, or you know, the specific mood and feel I wanted for each page, but the color schemes really helped drive my layouts together. So here I have an acetate piece that says Say Yes, and that is from Project Life. This little guy there that says So Much Fun is from Doodlebug, and that ends up being my title, just because it made the most sense. Sometimes when I have a lot of different phrases or words on a page and not a definitive title, I often get confused with what I should call my page. But for this one, I ended up going with that as my title, even though there's things that are larger. That one just made the most sense for my personal touch on this story, and once it's on there, it'll make more sense to everyone else. When you are doing a double page spread, make sure you do have them lined up so you can line your photos or layers if you want them to be straight across. This little snap die cut is from a small shop called Humble and Create, and I got a free printable little die cut from them when I ordered some flair. And here I pulled in some Jen Hadfield puffy stickers, and then I'm jumping right into some Simple Stories phrase stickers. I knew I had some in there that I wanted to use. This one says Best Day Ever, and if you guys don't know, Disney is one of the best places ever, so why not have that on every single Disney page, but certainly this one. And I do love embellishing on top of my photos. I know some people are scared of that, but there's no need to be. You guys can definitely pull it off and do great embellishment clusters on top of your photos. Like even this one's touching me in that photo on the left-hand page, but it's not too scary. I promise it's not scary, but I understand why some people don't want to embellish on top of their photos. But I just take the risk, and since this is an open-faced format where there aren't in page protectors, they're just sitting out, you know, they'll collect dust more easily than normal scrapbook would. I think it's okay to take the leap. But this layout is almost complete. Finished it off with those puffy stickers, stars, which are some of my favorites, and some more phrase stickers. But I think the background really helped bring out the white space and just take up enough space without too much. But here are the close-ups. Let me know what you guys think of this simple but elegant layout. I think it's so much fun, and it really didn't need much embellishment. I think the arrows help tell the story at the same time. I like how they're pointing off the page, although usually people want to the page, inside of the page. But I like the idea of them pointing away. But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out everyone else linked down below. We have some great projects to share. But thank you again so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I will see you guys next time. Bye!